Before I begin, I'd like to introduce my audience.
Autumn,
Chris?
Zuriel.
May.
Thank you guys for attending today. Today I was speaking with you about a subject near and dear to my heart, male pattern baldness. As you can see, I am too affected. Hair loss is a common problem amongst most men. 50% are affected to be exact, according to studies. Each one of you knows, I'm sure, at least one person who's affected by male pattern baldness. So today I will be sharing with you about male pattern baldness. I will be touching on three main points: the causes of hair loss, stages, and finally, treatments. Let's begin with the causes of hair loss. There are many causes of hair loss for men. Most notably would be genetics. But which parent is responsible for this baldness? The status quo says the father, but in actuality, they're wrong. The mother carries the X chromosome, which is a gene variation, which causes the hair loss. Next, we move to scalp issues. Some scalp issues, for example, are fungal infections, thyroid conditions, steroids, and nutritional disorders, just to name a few. But most of these can be ruled out with a simple skin biopsy. Last but not least is stress. Yes, stress can lead to hair loss. Long-term stress and anxiety have been known to cause this occurrence. So relax more, and you just might get to keep your hair. So now that I've covered the causes, let's move on to the stages. There are actually 7 stages according to Norwood's scale. The first stage is the adolescent hairline, where in fact no hair loss has occurred. This is where you're a young teen, you're spry in your youth, and you have a full head of hair, the glory days. The next stage is the adult hairline, where the brow is starting to recede just a little bit. The third stage marks a deep symmetrical, M-shaped, receding hairline. The fourth stage is almost like the third, with the added back portion, kind of like a monk. The fifth stage marks the most severe form of hair loss. This is where you start to lose the majority of your hair on the top of your head. As such, it starts to fade all the way through. The sixth stage is where the front merges with the back. And the seventh and final stage is where you have nothing left on top of your head but a wreath around the side. Next, I will share with you the most important part about hair loss that men are seeking: the treatments that are available. Although science has not yet found a permanent cure for hair loss, there are treatments available. For example, some common medications are Rogaine, which is basically a topical cream applied to the scalp. Next is finasteride, a pill version of testosterone that you eat with food or anything. It basically increases the growth of the hair and allows it to flourish. The other option is hair transplants, which you don't want to do. It can cause infections. It can go wrong. Wigs, but we all know what they look like. It looks like something from a bad 80s movie. And finally, you could just pick up a handy dandy hat, which is what I do. So in conclusion, hair loss is inevitable, but there are options available, and you know what? Science is improving. So maybe one day we'll find that miracle cure that all men will have hair and be equal finally. So just think, when you see that model on TV and he's washing his hair and he has a full, thick grip on it, and you're thinking, man, I wish I could have that hair. Well, sometimes you can't. The Lord doesn't give us what we want sometimes. That's the way He made you, in His image. But you know what? You're going to spend less money on shampoo than He will. So in the end, you win. Thank you for your time.